Thank you all for coming all the way. Delhi, Bombay, both nice and hot over there. How long it was? 4 hours. I came from Hisar and uh, then I traveled to Hisar and then rode from there.
Yes, Delhi to Pilani in 3 hours you can come.
What was
You start at 5:30 in the morning, by 8 o'clock you are in.
it?
But
so,
Gurgaon is still the problem.
so delighted to have you all here. Good to see you here. I think I thought that the only way to get you to Pilani was when I was here. That was the only chance. So I'll just give some context. I'm speaking to you today as a transfer of bits. Um, I'm sure all of you have heard about bits and know a little bit about bits. I'll just go through something that I've prepared as a text. I thought it's better to read it out. So as you know, over 6 decades, bits Pilani has stood as a symbol of India's engineering excellence, shaping generations of leaders, innovators, and problem solvers. And today, as India aspires to be a $10 trillion economy and also a non superpower, which Pilani reaffirms its commitment to nation building with three transformative initiatives. And let me talk to you about these three initiatives. This is Professor Rao, he's our Vice Chancellor. This is under his exemplary leadership. Let me talk about the three initiatives. First is what we call Project Vistar. Project Vistar embodies Bit Pilani's ambitious vision for the future. It's a transformative initiative aimed at strengthening the infrastructure and expanding academic capacity across three campuses, Pilani, Hyderabad, and Goa. And more than just a physical expansion, Project Vistar is about cultivating an ecosystem that further encourages and fosters learning, research, and innovation. And as the Institute scales its impact, this initiative marks a decisive investment in the spaces that nurture talent, shape young minds, inspire ideas, and enable world class outcomes. The scope of this Project Vistar encompasses the development of academic blocks, cutting edge research facilities, student hostels, staff residences, and a wide range of student amenities, ensuring holistic growth across all dimensions of campus life. This initiative is strategically designed to support BITS Pilani's long-term goals in academics, in research, and in innovation, building infrastructure that meets the needs of a globally competitive, future-oriented university. With an outlay of 1,200 plus crores, Project Vistar is one of the largest capital investments in BITS Pilani's history. It signifies the Institute's commitment to expanding enrollments, enhancing research capabilities, and fostering deeper international partnerships across the Pilani, Goa, and Hyderabad campus. What is the intent behind this project? We're calling it Project Vistar with investment of 1,200 crores. So, to go a little deeper, the intent is to significantly strengthen BITS Pilani's capabilities in teaching, research, and the overall student experience through a world-class infrastructure. It also addresses the growing demand for high-quality, technology-driven, innovation-led research and education. It positions us as this BITS Pilani as a globally competitive institution committed to academic excellence and societal impact as well. And the intent is to build an enabling environment that fosters interdisciplinary collaboration, creativity, and entrepreneurship. Project Vistar entails a capital expenditure of rupees 1,200 crores plus across these three campuses. Uh, this investment will increase the capacity of these campuses from the current 16,000 to 21,000 by academic year 2030-31. And overall, the student strength across all BITS Pilani campuses will grow from 18,700 plus today to 26,000 by AI 3031. The development will follow a phased implementation strategy, ensuring obviously fiscal prudence whilst pursuing ambitious plans of expansion. With 1,200 crores covering the three campuses of Pilani, Hyderabad, and Goa, the intent is we already have very high quality infrastructure, but the intent is to further upgrade it to become truly world class in terms of functionality, in terms of um, number of classrooms, the kind of classrooms, integrating technology into the infrastructure, also looking at expanding capacity, like I said, from 18,000 to we're talking about more than 26,000, around 26,000 in the next 5 years. What is the impact of this that we expect? So it enables BITS Pilani to accommodate the planned increase in student and faculty numbers, ensuring adequate academic and residential infrastructure. It lays the foundation for launching next-gen academic programs aligned with emerging global needs and industry trends. And it also facilitates enhanced collaboration with industry, international institutions, and research organizations, positioning BITS Pilani as a hub for innovation and global engagement. That is the objective of making the larger vision behind these investments. The second initiative, the first one was Vistar. The second is a new campus at Amravati, and we are calling it the AI Plus Hub for tomorrow. So we are getting ready to set up a new facility at Amravati in Andhra Pradesh, and we see it as a bold step to transform higher education in India. This campus will be a hub for innovation and interdisciplinary learning, focused on AI, emerging technologies, and industry collaboration. It will bridge academic excellence with real-world application, nurturing leaders, entrepreneurs, and problem solvers. We want our young minds, brightest minds in the country, to have all the knowledge they can possibly get in the classroom on all the dominant technologies of our time. With global partnerships, cutting edge programs, and a dynamic learning environment, it aims to shape the next generation of talent for India and for the world. So, for example, just to give you some instances, undergrad programs, regular and training programs would mean 2 years in Amravati and 2 years in a university overseas with specialization in, like I said, the dominant technologies of today: AI, data science, ML, robotics, computational linguistics, and LLMs, cyber physical systems with AI. Uh, and all of this comes with industry internships, cross-disciplinary electives, and dual degree options. Also, for example, joint PhDs with international universities in areas like generative AI, smart cities, and AI for healthcare. Two-year degree two-year degree programs including MTech in AI ML, MSc in AI-driven innovation, so on and so forth. Which basically that campus will cater to, um, or rather focus on all the dominant technologies that all of us know about today. And we think it's important that our young minds that will lead the India of tomorrow be not just conversant, but know in depth what these technologies are about and the impact that they can have on our world. Uh, the idea is to have an experiential and adaptive curriculum, which is in terms of an agile course design based on emerging research and rapid feedback loops. The professor can add more on that. Basically, talking about interdisciplinary education with also real uh, real experience with, industry, project-based learning, with an emphasis on engineering and design and entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship first approach by accessing our huge network of alumni. So entrepreneurship has been a big hallmark of BITS Pilani. Again, we're talking about global collaboration and flexible learning paths, which is, Professor can explain it more, choice-based credit systems, dual degree specializations, and stackable credentials. I think maybe you'd like to talk about flexible learning paths because that's what really sets BIT society even today.
In fact, as Mr. Birla mentioned, if you look at Bits Pilani, 1964 is when the institute got instituted, and it started with MIT collaboration. We GD Birlaji that time got Ford Foundation, right, a grant of $1.4 million to get MIT to set up BITS Pilani. MIT set up two institutions in the country at that time. They had two institutions which were mentored by them. One was BITS Pilani, the other is IIT Kanpur. And many of the new age kind of things that you see today as part of the national education policy, which Pilani has been doing it for over 50 years. The dual degree program, the practice school, every student of which Pilani, has a 8-month practice school, meaning internship in an industry which is completely arranged by the institute, right? And which is high quality kind of the average stipend student receive is about 50,000 rupees every student. And so I think that is what has been part of our experiential learning aspect. 40% of our students get placed in the practice school itself, right? When they go for practice school in an industry, 40% of them get absorbed there itself. And there are 800 industries which are participating in the practice school right now. There is no institute in the country, no IIT, and no one who can come anywhere close to the practice school concept. Nobody has been able to replicate what Bitfulani has been able to. I think the dual degree programs, like I said, and the practice school concept and the flexibility the students have in choosing their minors, in choosing courses. There is a whole amount of flexibility. There are something like 200 electives running on the campus. So students can pick and choose what they wish to, specialize in. I think these are all things which have been very unique to BITS Pilani, which is the reason why BITS Pilani has always been considered on par with some of the finest institutions in the country and even in the world.
A little more about this new campus at Amravati. It will be built to have 7,000 students over two phases. Emphasis on green buildings, renewable energy systems. It will be a digital first campus operation. The operations will be digital first with integration of IoT enabled systems, AI driven services, and immersive learning environments. I don't think there's any campus in the country today, or I don't think there are any plans that I know of to make a campus of this kind that is being envisaged by us in Amravati by any other institution in the country today. So that was Amravati. Before that, we talked about 1,200 crore expansion across our three campuses. The investment in Amravati over a period of 5 years is expected to be about 2,000 crore. The third and very interestingly is what we're calling BITS Pilani Digital. Uh, and the intent here is to democratize access to education and in doing so fulfill the national mission. Uh, Essentially, obviously, expanding campuses, physical campuses, is imperative. We need to do that. But India's education challenge also demands scale, it demands inclusivity, it demands flexibility. India, as you know, is one of the youngest nations. Nearly 65% of our population is under 35. But the stark reality is that not too many of our bright ambitious minds get access to the kind of high quality education infrastructure or education that can really be transformative. So our response as BITS Pilani is BITS Pilani Digital. It's not just an edtech platform. In a sense, it's an extension of BITS spirit of excellence and innovation right into the homes and communities of learners. What's the intent here? So over the next 5 years, BITS Pilani Digital will launch 32 programs, including 11 degree and 21 certificate courses, serving over 100,000 learners from high school graduates to college students to working professionals. These offerings are being carefully designed to match industry needs, featuring co-created curricula with industry, real-world projects, and career support. Flexible pathways and optional campus immersions will ensure that working professionals, students in remote areas, and career changers will all have access to BITS Pilani's world-class education sitting in their homes. This initiative also directly aligns with India's NEP, which is the new National Education Policy, which actually has emphasized the expansion of digital learning and lifelong skilling. It also recognizes that enrollment enough is not re- 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 it recognizes that enrollment alone is not enough. Quality, relevance, and employability must also be at the heart of the education front. And in keeping with that thought, BITS Pilani Digital will endeavor to break barriers of geography and circumstance and of age so that every learner can build the kind of future that he or she deserves. So the overall message on BITS Pilani, the BITS Pilani strategic vision for 2030 is centered on academic excellence, on student well-being, and a vibrant, inclusive campus life. The institution aspires to rank among the top five higher education institutions in India and the top 100 globally by 2030, measured by key institutional benchmarks. That's the message that I wanted to convey to you. Happy to take questions. Happy for Professor Rao to take questions what I need. Over to you.
सर एक विषय में आपको चाहूंगा कि फीस प्लानिंग और पैसा सर क्या
Alsal?
सारा क्या एक आपकी सोच में या आपके क्या लगता है कि ये आप एक रीडिंग कर दे रहा है जो आपके बिजनेस प्लान
यहाँ पर कई सारे स्टूडेंट्स अपना खुद का स्टार्टअप करते हैं वहां से बहुत आइडियाज मिलती हैं so the startup culture and book planning I think is truly something that's unique and extraordinary and it's very inspirational for any business person who comes here and here. Nothing from the AI Plus campus in Amravati is approximately 2,000 crores to be spent over the next 5 to 6 years.
there are multiple initiatives of which I think not only brain, of course, that is a national issue, but we are also looking at brain gain. Those who have gone abroad, how do we get them back to the country? There are also major national initiatives where BITS Pilani is currently part of. And if you look at our faculty profile today, in the last 3 years alone, almost 50% of faculty we recruited have come back from the US or European kind of countries and from some of the finest places. I think that's one way we are getting the people back to teach our students here. And for our students now, there was a time when from all the premier institutions in India, including BITS Pilani, almost half the class used to go abroad. Right? There used to be the saying that the body reaches these institutions, but the soul would have already reached the America. That was the saying. But now nobody does that. In fact, from many of these institutions, less than 10% of students are going abroad. And that is because of opportunities available in India. If you look at the placement profile of students, the median salary at BITS Pilani today is 20 lakh rupees For a fresh graduate coming out of an engineering program, 20 lakh rupees is the median salary right now. In the peak, of course, goes to crores and all of that. I think with those kind of job opportunities and the startups, now almost one third of students are getting into startups now. There are 300 startups we only supported on the campus. In fact, the BITS Pilani incubated startups, the ones which are incubated on the campus, have touched $1 billion valuation. The BITS Pilani incubated startup. I think with such kind of opportunities available in India, I don't think anybody would even think of going to these countries anymore. This will further come down. Even the 10% will become even lower, and the brain drain will actually reverse this entire.
Sorry, I think I got this wrong. You're right. But
1,000 crores. The Vistar is 1,200 crores.
Vistar is 2,000 crores.
If you add the two,
Sorry, I got it wrong.
2,200 crores more.
No, we're not looking at an AI version. We're just, it's an education institution focused on education as its primary research and also research as its primary objective, education and also research. So there's no building of any application happening here.
But India also will require a lot of trained manpower in this area. So I think that is what that campus is going to do. High quality manpower. But our acceptance ratios in the campuses is 2%. Only 2% of students were able to admit now. This year, 241,000 applications we received. We are admitting 3,500 students. Right? So now with this campus, we will be able to admit a few more students to work on the AI area. They will form the high quality manpower that industries will require.
I want to ask you that the ethics rate, what is the feedback there?
Sorry, in what?
With the ethics rate, which there is a value, what is the feedback there? To usually, or is this up in the ethics process? That is the first question. And second, I really think that we have this location, and how do you think that this stand apart from the traditional taking just apart from the AI thing? How do you think it stand?
The BITS Digital, as Mr. Birla mentioned, one of the challenges in India is the gross enrollment ratio. Gross enrollment ratio today is 27%, meaning only 1 in 4 students aspiring a seat in higher education can find a seat today. It's as bad as that. China has 50%, US has 70%, India is at 27%. Even the national education policy that Mr. Birla referred to talks about 50% by 2035. So how do you reach those kind of numbers? It's only possible through initiatives like BITS Digital. It's going to, many students today go to colleges where there is hardly good any teachers, right? The kind of quality teachers they would like to have, or the infrastructure, or the ambience, to learn something. Whereas BITS, it's always a flagship university among the top, in the country. And but we cannot admit everybody who comes to us. 2% acceptance, as I mentioned. So how do we provide this BITS quality education to students not just in India, maybe eventually worldwide? And that is possible through the BITS Digital. We are investing heavily now in building a platform. We will also soon have our centers in multiple locations in the country where students can go to do practice school, do experiments, do practicals. But the instruction will be delivered from a central place. We are building that activity in Bangalore right now, and where we will establish the infrastructure so we can deliver high quality content to whoever wants to receive that. So that is the plan right now. And the equity is going to be very important there. The fee that is required to enroll into that program will be much less because it's a digital mode of instruction. And so that way, many more people will be able to benefit from that. Our target is at least 50,000 students, maybe in the next 5 to 6 years, in terms of enrollments.
When will we think for
It's operational, getting operational next month. We will be announcing the programs next month. A few undergraduate programs, a few master's programs. August is when we are launching.
Share this sir. My first question is to you. We had the opportunity to go and see the startup incubation center alumni have been contributing for the program. And then sort of big game trying to raise big effect. So that I will also what kind of support uh, and you also intend to invest going forward.
No, this is please see Aditya Birla Group and BITS Pilani as two separate entities this now. So BITS Pilani is self-funded. There is no funding that's coming in from Aditya Birla Group. So it bases its own revenue that BITS is going to do all of this. Bases its own internal accrual.
Recently, we are now on the committee of USISPF.
Let's take that separately. We'll just restrict ourselves to BITS here.
So we had this US India relations, of course, but COVID and Indian business, what kind of support, what are the top key priorities?
Yet to a little early to talk about that. To formulate those.
Sir, Namaskar.
I may want to add that we have currently 2+2 degree programs with 3 universities in the US. State University of New York in Buffalo and Iowa State University, Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute. These are all good quality institutions in the US, and we now have at least 250 students who are jointly enrolled into both the programs. I think these collaborations will continue to grow further.
Just follow up on that. Your role as a member of the executive, how you did stay on the students?
I told you that it's too early. Just come on the board. So it takes some time to think through that and formulate a plan.
Good afternoon, Dr. Birla. Good afternoon, Professor Rao. I have a couple of questions. First for me, basically, it's also partnered with the central government on training professionals of science security. So, how do you see the current state of science security in India? Trends are getting more and more associated with the rising trend. Between India and Pakistan, we saw that there was some sort of cyber warfare happening. So, from an educational perspective, how important do you think that it is a pattern to train each and every one on cybersecurity? What are your thoughts on cybersecurity overall?
In fact, keeping that in mind, the national security in mind, we created a center of excellence in our Hyderabad campus called CRENS, Center for Research Excellence in National Security, and we have multiple DRDO, senior scientists on our as professors of practice in our institution, including many startups who are in the cyber security space, who are all Bitsian startups. They have also come on board right now. So, with the help of agencies, all of these agencies who are partnering with us, we announced the first certificate program, a 6-month program, just last week now, and CERTIN, which is the Ministry of Electronics initiative. Now it's a joint program, first ever joint program indeed, what CERTIN is doing right now. We have already got 100 people registered for that program, very first program, and now we want to scale it up. We want to reach a few thousand of people in industries, in government agencies, in all over the country, in training them on the future requirements of cyber security and also the quantum proofing our security solutions. Because the biggest worry today is if any country gets quantum computers, then they will be able to break almost every security protocol that we have. So how do we quantum proof, right? All of our major security installations. That's also one thing which we will be covering as part of this program. It's just announced right now. We already have 100 registrations, and that we will continue to grow for.
I also want to understand what are you doing to improve diversity of the campus. Would be looking at going to more business, I know improving the structure, introducing more people. What are you doing for that diversity?
In fact, that's one thing which is on top of our agenda right now. One thing which we have done in the last 2 years alone is to create at least 100 new scholarships for girls, completely paid scholarships. And if you look at our BITSAT advertisement, you also notice that we are saying if you are among the top 1,000 rankers in BITSAT and if you're a girl student, you don't have to worry about tuition. Irrespective of your financial condition, you should consider coming to BITS, and we are able to institute now enough scholarships for girls, mainly funded by alumni, funded by, of course, with internal funds, that BITS generates. So there are a large number of scholarships we have created for girls. Even if you look at our BITSAT numbers, 10,000 more girls took the exam last year compared to previous year. This year data I don't have, but last year 10,000 more girls took the exam because of these scholarships that are made available. So in fact, on the campuses now, our diversity is about 40% if you include masters and PhD programs. At the undergraduate level, it's about 15-16%.
One of you can write it as, right? If you view it as an educational, as a transfer of it, and you use the AI as a camera as a brain initiative. So if you look at as a video and as a deduction video, and you see how AI has grown recently, could be this is AI boom is happening right now. In future, some other technology could also take over. So when you look at in from an education perspective, when you look at students that are influenced, what do you think are the most essential skills, even when companies are hiring, you look at to face up the technological advancements that are happening.
I think that the need of the hour is to have more cross-functional education, which I think that again Professor Rao can talk about. But in short, the curriculum of many subjects is being revised or supplemented with courses that are functional, which means you can now we also have a degree now where you can do your let's say your engineering here and do your masters in management at Bitsam and Kalyan. So I think that's a new focus area. That's how the real world works.
Just to add to what Mr. Birla said, in Amravati campus, we are following a very new model. In fact, Amravati campus is going to be the first ever AI plus campus in the country. Right, the way we are planning it, we will have all the major programs in computer science area, but we will have multiple minor programs. So you learn all the basic concepts of AI, but you also need to apply it. So we will have minor degrees in climate science, minor degrees in industry 4.0, minor degrees in, let's say, satellite technologies. I think the students learn the concepts, apply them in at least two diverse areas, right, from agriculture to climate science to any other area, healthcare and all of that. And that way they become more, the entire learning will be more experiential in nature. That's what the kind of a concept we are developing for Amravati, developing entire curriculum for that. Multiple universities, want to partner with us now from abroad. I think a lot of exciting things will happen in Amravati, the AI plus AI.
नमस्कार मैं विद्या प्रधान पिलानी से एटी दूंगा सर मैं जानना चाहूंगा कि एटी से लेके अब तक हमने जब भी किसी भी संदर्भ में जैसे या से कई बार तो जैसे लोकल प्रॉब्लम आती थी तो हम दिल्ली बाबू के आगे भी रखा है एल बाबू के आगे भी कर दिया फिर दिल्ली बाबू से घंटा रही है साल में एक बार उनका भी होता था तो हम लोग पिलानी की समस्या उनको अवगत कराते थे अब हमारे सामने ये है कि कई ऐसी समस्याएं हैं जैसे पानी को लेके या अस्पताल की सेवाओं को लेके बड़ी जटिल समस्या है क्योंकि हमारे यहाँ
आप बिट्स में जैसे प्रोफेसर राव हैं इनके और सीनियर कॉलीग्स हैं उनको बता सकते हैं
हम बताएं लेकिन हमारी ये प्रार्थना रहे निवेदन है कि आप साल में 2 साल में हमें
हाँ वो
परिवार के आप लोग
that is the intention that I would want to come more.
Hello sir, I'm Sanjay from Thailand. First, why you have chosen Amravati for your new campus and when this campus be operational to open the doors?
So I think that it's at the behest of the Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu. He's been very keen that BITS has a campus there. I think this is falls into his vision for the future, and large tract of land available at very small cost. I think all of these things put together.
When this campus will start opening up.
The, the construction work has started now. In fact, it's starting. We are in the final phase of identifying architects and all that. We hope to start it in 2027, the first batch of.
So, that's what is from to business. Couple of questions. First, you showed us that one of the biggest startups in Vietnam. So, is that something which is focusing on defense startups? And second, on the edtech platform, you said that the course fees will be affordable, but other legacy tech institutes, normally when they offer online courses, they charge a premium. And even the edtech platforms or the edtech platform, and they give you a university certificate, they also charge a premium on that. So is that something you are not going to follow, or is that the plan for future?
Our model will never be a tech platform, so we will never follow what a tech platforms are
I
doing.
told you in my opening remarks, it's not an edtech platform.
So it will be affordable, and we want to have more and more students benefit from the quality education that on the defense side, we have multiple initiatives. Sachin, would you like to add anything on the IDEX initiatives?
Yeah, so there are Red Planning already partnered with Alex, which is a Ministry of Defense platform for and we also been announcing 5 crore fund for defense startups. This event was actually
And that will be for next weeks.
we also did.
Also, which
The amount that was earmarked, 100 crore, how much is this? So we aspire to create with some of the top 100. But also one of the first to be awarded.
lot of money is being, in fact, it's very difficult to differentiate what is for education, what is for research. These are all intercoupled in bits. The faculty member doing research also brings those concepts to the classroom. So, but on PhD students, our investments are already pretty huge. We have today, we have crossed 2,500 students now, in all the campuses, and all students in BITS receive scholarships on par with the government of India norms. So there are no, shortcuts to that. We do invest a lot of money on PhD students. Now, Government of India has given us a 60 crore grant to establish high-end research facilities in the Pilani campus. There is a building coming up on this campus called SATI. SATI stands for Sophisticated Analytical Technical Health Institute, and we are one of the three institutions selected by Government of India. Rajasthan doesn't have a single such facility, so they said BITS Pilani should do that. So we have received a 60 crore grant from Government of India. We are also investing from our side 20 crore rupees into that project now. So that entire initiative is happening in Pilani. And our investments on high-end research facilities are also growing pretty steeply. And on undergraduate labs today, as part of Project Vistar, the 1,200 crores, we are investing 60 crores in upgrading the undergraduate laboratories to bring them up on par with the world-class institutions. Right? That's
Added issues that for international rankings, international students and international faculty are two important factors. Always working on that.
If you look at the US rankings of the last 3 years, BITS Pilani officially is the fastest growing institution in the QS. We were not even in top 1000. Now we are today this year we are ranked at 650, and in engineering and technology we are ranked among the top 250 in the world. So BITS Pilani already is in the top 250 in the world when it comes to engineering and technology. All of that have happened in the last 3 years, primarily because of our increased investments in the research and innovation space. And so there are those higher number of PhD students. We are publishing 3,000 papers today, with an average impact factor of 4.2. In terms of 23 IITs, BITS Pilani today is at the sixth position in terms of research output. The research quality, the number of research papers, we are at the sixth position right now. It all happened because of our increased research investments made in the last 3 years. We are seeing very visible results right now. Most of our faculty are now have PhD students funded by the institute. And last year we raised 186 crores from Government of India grants. 186 crores. So there are not too many institutions which receive that kind of money. So all of that are essentially helping us to strengthen our research activities on these campuses.
Just one final question. The incubation centers here on this specific campus do need inspiration, and I'm sure they of course draw it from you as well. While Ariman and Aranya Birla are in that journey, what is what are your top three advice? What is the top three in that list that you would also give to students
That
here
will
in
take up some
entrepreneurs?
other time. Like I said, this question is focused only on bits. But I want to thank you all for coming here. Bits has always done stellar work, but also kept a very low profile. Since we have three significant new initiatives starting up, we thought it'd be nice for you to make a visit to Pilani. So thank you for being our guest, as also to create more awareness about these three. I mean, for an education institution, that's very significant investment financially in terms of intellectual bandwidth. A lot of people come together to create, let's say, even just one course of the kind that's being thought of. So a lot of collaborative effort from some of the brightest minds in India and overseas will go into this, um, and we hope to get, you know, perhaps some greater awareness about the work that Big C do. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you soon.